Hi again, guys. So, as promised, I'm going to do a little bit more of an in-depth review of this Seiko. As you already know, I just got it a couple of weeks ago, and I promised that I'm going to wear it for a while and then give you my honest opinion about it. So, I have created 2, 4, 6, 8 different points on which I'm going to talk about this watch, and I'm going to rate it, and then we'll see what the total score of this watch is going to be. First of all, let me tell you that I have been wearing this watch since the day I got it until now, without taking it off my wrist, except when I take a shower, of course. Other than that, this watch has been on my wrist during the whole day, during my night sleep, and I have literally not taken it off at all. I did it so because first, it is an extremely comfortable watch to wear and to sleep with, and second, I really wanted to see how it would perform. So without wasting any more of your time, let's get to the list. As you can see, the first point here is the design of the watch, and this is really a timeless design for me. It is an all-rounder. It is very beautiful, capable, comfortable watch, and this design is not getting caught. It's not getting out of fashion. It is just timeless. In my personal opinion, this design would be as timeless as the Submariner's design, but of course I don't want to stir the pot here. It is very clean, very simple, just simple button hands on the dial, simple markers, just a couple of rows of text on the dial, a very simple bezel, and a very simple crown, which I know you guys hate, but by the way, yeah, I think you can see how the light plays with the polishing of the crown. I absolutely love the polishing. I don't remember any other Seiko having such a polished crown, but again, I might be wrong. It's kind of a sunburst crown, if I might call it that way. Anyway, I love the crown. I wouldn't have it signed for anything, just because it adds to that simplistic design of the watch. Of course, this is my own opinion, and I don't want to indulge you guys with it. So about the design, I'm going to give it a 9, a solid 9. So, next thing about this watch is the movement. Okay, so a lot to talk about here, a lot to say about here, really. As you guys know, this is the new 6R35 movement, and the tolerances of this movement I think is -15 to +25 or 35. Not exactly sure what was it, but anyway, those tolerances, if I have to be honest with you guys, are quite huge. And until this day, I haven't had a watch which has been running more than 6 or 7 seconds per day, plus or minus, it doesn't matter. I've been reading the forums about people owning this watch and this movement in general, and most of them report a plus 10 to plus 15, which they find very, very good for this watch. I don't agree with them. Probably because of my experience, which has been great so far with automatic watches. So let's get straight to the point. I have been wearing this watch daily. I have never taken it off my wrist for this. What was it? It's I believe 15 or 16 days now. And let me show you the accuracy of this watch, guys. I have been using this watch tracker app, and here you can see the rest of my watches and their reported accuracy. As you can see, Orient Triton, which is way cheaper than this Seiko, 5.7 seconds per day. Breitling Aerospace, of course, it's a quartz watch, so we're not going to take it into consideration. Jeanneau Ocean Rover, a watch with allegedly a Chinese clone of the ETA 2824, and you can see the reported accuracy of this one. 0.2 seconds per day. This is just outrageous. Tudor Black Bay, 0.8. Nomos Club Campus, 2 seconds per day. Absolutely stunning. And you can see my Seiko 62Mas, 9 seconds per day. And if we go in detail about the reported accuracies of the watch, you can see that we have some days plus 8, plus 15, plus 7, plus 15, plus 13, plus 12, plus 7, plus 6, plus 6, plus 6. And I've found out something interesting about this watch. Most of those higher inaccurate rates per day were measured early in the morning, meaning that the watch hasn't been moved around that much, so probably it has been a little lower on the power reserve. Especially take a look at this one, this 17 seconds per day. This was measured actually yesterday, which was the only day which I took the watch off just because I was out all day cycling, and I just didn't want to damage my watch in case if I fall off the bicycle. And in addition, I use a fitness tracking bracelet when I do sports. So yeah. So the watch was off my wrist almost all day, and it reported its biggest inaccuracy of 70 seconds per day. And it was sitting ground down. I don't know if this has anything to do with it. Which makes me think that the accuracy of this movement is going to increase once the power reserve gets low. I don't know if there are any guys from you who are more familiar with the causes about the watch's inaccuracy. Please enlighten me in the comments, because I really don't know if there is a connection between those two, but I strongly believe so. So. Movement. This is not going to be good for Seiko. I think I'm going to give it a 6 here, just because I would have given it a 5, but since it is I think it's 70 hours power reserve now with the new 6R35 movement, so just because that 70 hours I'm going to give it a 6. not that it matters that much to me. I know for a lot of you it matters, of course, but just because that I'm going to give it a 6. And of course, I really hope that this inaccuracy improves over the upcoming months. So, the next point I'm going to talk about is the comfort of this watch. And just the fact that I haven't taken it off my wrist, just this fact means a lot about its comfort. It's really, really comfortable, guys. The way it sits on the wrist, the way it feels, the weight, the heft of this watch is really great. Again, I think it's an all-rounder just because I have a slightly thinner wrists at 6.5 inches or 16.5 centimeters, but it's really comfortable, and I even haven't felt the need to take it off the bracelet and put it on a NATO or a leather strap or something else. And I don't think I'm going to do it. It's just very comfortable. The only discomfort this watch caused me is that it pulled some of my hairs. As you can see, I'm a hairy guy. And the part of the watch which did this was actually the diver extension. So it puts some of those hairs here. This was the only discomfort which was caused by this watch. So keeping that in mind, I was thinking of giving it a 10, or actually a 9, just because it's a little heavier, just a little heavier. But since it pulls some of my hairs, I'm going to give it a 8. Sorry, Seiko, but I just love my hairs. Next point. Next point is the bracelet, guys. Okay, so let's talk about the bracelet. Okay. This is by far the best bracelet Seiko have done. There is no doubt about it. And the mere fact that Seiko have just the bracelet selling for $260, guys. Just this mere fact has to tell you a lot of how many hours of research have been put into developing this new bracelet, and how many hours of labor have been put of making it. So it is a really, really great bracelet. I stated this in my previous video, but now, and the thing that I like the most is that middle parts of the links are moving just a millimeter, or probably not even a whole millimeter, just half a millimeter, but just enough to wrap comfortably about your wrist. It's really nice. This is how those links look from the inside. As you can see, just a slight movement of the middle part of this link, just the slightest movement, but just enough to make it really comfortable. The clasp is absolutely beautiful. The thing I don't like about the bracelet is the diver's extension. The first reason is that it adds a lot to the footprint of the bracelet. It actually makes the bracelet huge, as you can see. The second thing is that it pulled my hairs, as I just explained you, and I don't think it's necessary, honestly. it would have been much better if Seiko had only left the bracelet and the clasp without this diverse extension. But again, this is just my opinion, and probably some of you guys like it, some of you don't. Unfortunately, I even searched for a way to remove this diverse extension. It is not removable, it's staying there, guys. So having all these facts in mind, I think I'm going to give the bracelet an 8, just because of this diverse extension, which I don't like. Otherwise it would have gotten a 9. Next point, versatility of this watch. It's absolutely versatile. It is a great watch to wear with casual clothing, even a tracksuit, a suit. I think it's a very versatile watch. It is a great watch to put on NATO. It is a great watch to put on a leather strap, although I haven't done it, but I've seen pictures and it looks really stunning. And let me tell you the main reason why this look great on a leather strap, for example. Because of those 90 degrees angles of the lugs. You know, most of the watches don't have this 90 degrees angle, it's just the case protruding and the lugs, which leaves a gap when you put on a leather strap. But here, when you put the leather strap, it fits perfectly inside the lugs, so it looks really great. Absolutely stunning. In addition, it is not a tall watch, it's 13.2 or 0.5 millimeters thick, which suggests it would fit under a cuff greatly. So again, you can wear this with anything. So I'll give it a 9 here, just because it is actually a diver, so it wouldn't be appropriate for a very strict suit, for example. Or so a solid 9 on the versatility as well. Next point is your biggest pain, guys. It is the value of this watch. Let me talk first how is value determined. Of course, value is not determined by only one person. In this case, it won't be determined by me. It is determined by you guys or by the market. What do I think about the value? I think that the price of $1,170 I paid for this watch is absolutely worth it. I think that every cent is worth it. But I've been hearing comments from most of you guys that this watch is way too expensive. So obviously I'm not going to give it a 10 here, just because of your opinion here. As I already said, market determines the value. But on the other hand, if you try ordering or buying this watch even now, almost a whole month after its premiere, if you try to buy it or order it, it's out of stock almost anywhere. Of course, you can buy it probably on a premium price above retail, which is absolutely outrageous, and I wouldn't advise on that, and I would never do it. But since this watch is out of stock, I'm a little confused here. In the end, guys, is it too expensive for you? And if it's too expensive, why the hell are you buying it off? And why is it out of stock? I don't get it. Having those facts in mind, I'm going to give it a 7 here, just because of the guys who really think that this watch is overpriced. 7. Next point, durability of this watch. It is a steel watch, 200 meters of water resistant, screw down crown, very good screwing action actually. This is the second watch I have, which has a crown which you just screw a couple of turns and it hits to a solid stop. It doesn't tighten and tighten more and more and more like most of the screw down crowns. It's just the same as the crown on my Tudor Black Bay. You unscrew it and then you rotate it and it just comes to a solid stop. So I would say that that's to the durability and to the water resistance. It is a steel watch, sapphire crystal if I missed to mention it already. In addition, it has the special coating which Seiko calls dye shield, and it's supposed to be scratch resistant. And let me tell you, I've previously owned the Seiko SARX 055. It had absolutely the same coating. I've worn it for a year and then sold it just because it was a little bit too boring for me. But after wearing it for a year, it didn't have a single scratch on it, and I actually sold it as a new, or actually I sold it as an unworn watch. It was so pristine, so mint. Of course, this dye shield coating, it's not to be compared, for example, with Zin's tegimented, I think was called, coating, which alone costs about $300 or $400. Probably it's not as good as Zin's, but still it is a good coating. I wanted to show you just a couple of scratches I did here on this clasp. Yeah, they're very light scratches, and I actually have no idea how I've done it. And again, on my Seiko SARX 55, I didn't manage to do any scratches, despite the fact that I've worn it for a year. And I don't know how I did those just for 2 weeks. I suspect it is probably from my laptop, which has an aluminum body, and I've probably rubbed it against its body a couple of times, but I'm not really sure. Anyway, I don't really care about those scratches. Yes, the durability of this watch, I believe it's a solid 9. It's not a 10 just because the water resistant rating could have been higher, for example at 500 meters. Not that anyone would need it, but still, let's not give it a 10. Okay, last point, heritage. So it's a Seiko. It has great heritage, obviously. The series have great heritage. In addition, Seiko have started to increase their prices during the past years, which would suggest even greater demand for their products in future, or at least I hope so. It's an in-house movement that adds to the heritage as well. But probably the biggest factor of this this point here would be the 62Mas series. which is a huge hit for Seiko. If you go on the websites and search for all the watches from the 62Mas series they released this year, most of them are out of stock, and they are really, really beautiful watches. For example, all three or four models of this one, including the limited edition model. The new Captain Weward turtle-like watch. It is basically very, very similar to this one, with the same bracelet, same markers, same dial, same hands, just the case is different. Also out of stock of all the stores. I really think that it has great heritage, this one. Not to say that also it is a reissue of a very popular older model of Seiko. So heritage, I would give it the highest score so far, a 10. And so it stopped just for the total, just in time for the total. Good job, pen, good job. So let's calculate the total score now of this Seiko 62Mas. Just give me a minute. 8 out of 10. It is a really good score. It's a well-deserved score. Good job, Seiko. My hope in Seiko is officially restored now, and that's all I wanted to talk about this watch. And I hope you guys enjoyed this in-depth review, and please leave any comments. As you can see, I'm trying to answer most of your questions, comments, etc. So yeah, feel free to express your opinions in the comments. Thank you very much, guys, and bye for now.